Hi everyone, it's Dawn with Dawn's Purple Koala Paper Crafting. Today I have a card I wanted to show you how to make. It's a super easy card and I just absolutely love the way it turned out. I added the rhinestones. I don't know if you could see them glimmer. But yeah, it's super easy, and like I said, I really love the way it turned out. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to start with first is our base, which is the basic black, and this is just a regular sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11, that I've cut in half at 5.5, and then I went and scored it at 4.25. So we can go ahead and just give that a nice crease. Okay. Then what I did was I took a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is cut at 5.25 by 4, and this will center nicely right on the front of the card. What I did was I took this paper and I ran a die through the Big Shot, and what I did was I took this Bloomin' Heart die and I just positioned this in the center, but more towards the top of the page. And I just took this and ran it through my Big Shot. And I also used these two little flowers, which you can see they're little ones that are part of the set. And I just used them with some scrap paper I had laying around. And I came out with these little flowers, and I'll use these to put on the card. Okay, so once I ran the die through the Big Shot, this is what I came up with, and this, as you can see, just fits perfectly in there. So what we could go ahead and do is go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this. And just line this up. There we go. Okay, and we could just set that aside for a few moments. We're going to work on the die cut heart now. What I'm going to do is I have these sponge daubers, and Stampin' Up sells them. They come in packages of 5, and I use these a lot. I got quite a few, pretty much for all my different ink colors, because what I do is when I use one, I make a label and I put the name of the ink on here. That way I can reuse it without worrying about mixing colors. So today we're going to be using Daffodil Delight, Tempting Turquoise, and Melon Mambo. This is one of my most favorite color combinations. So we will go ahead and start with the Tempting Turquoise, and these just fit right over your finger. And I'm just going to dab this in the ink, and then in a gentle motion I'm just going to add the ink onto the paper and just re-ink as needed. And I'm looking at the heart. Since I'm using the 3 colors, I'm trying to visualize it separating in thirds and just getting the color on there. Okay, now we can switch to the Daffodil Delight, and again we just put that, ink that up, and color. And just keep adding the ink as you need it. Kind of overlap a little bit, get a little bit of the green there from the blue and yellow. last we'll use the Melon Mambo. Again, just ink that up and put that on the rest. You could always go back if you feel you want this a little bit darker. You could just go back and add some more ink to it. I think this is good. I like this. I like the different shading of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just going to take each of these and put it on each of the backs of the flowers. And you'll notice the ink does dry pretty quickly. Just peel the backs off of these. And then just take our card and just line it up. And then press each of those flowers down to make sure that that adheres. Isn't that pretty? All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take the little flowers I cut out, and I'm using this piercing mat. It's just a piece of foam, soft. So I'm just going to lay the flowers on here. And I'm going to take just a regular pencil eraser, and I'm just going to press it down in the center, just to make the petals bend up a little bit. Give it some added dimension. Alright, and I'll take our glue dots, and I'll just put one on the back of each one, and put it on the coordinating flower. As you can see, these line up perfectly. Take the little blue one, and the yellow ones. And the pink one. Now, the flowers, since they have an open center, you can still feel the glue on them a little bit from the glue dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover that up with these rhinestone jewels. They come in various sizes. I'm going to use the medium-sized ones for the larger flower, and then these smaller ones for the small flowers. I'm just going to pick these up and position them right in the center. And then go to the smaller ones. And last one. There. Now you could go ahead and leave this alone as it is, but I want to add a little sentiment to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of, this is just a strip of scrap paper, and this is just cut at 1/2 inch. I'm not quite sure how long it is. We really don't need it. I'm going to be using the this hello stamp from this Endless Birthday Wishes stamp set. You could really use any of these stamps here, but I'm going to use the hello today. And I have that on my block. And I'm going to put that in black ink, which is the Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm just going to stamp that up. And then just line this up. There. Now what you could do if you wanted would be just trim this and have just a rectangular sentiment on here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bitty banner punch, and I'm just going to flag the edges of this. So I'm just going to feed this through and get it to where I want it. I think that looks good. And then do the same thing with the other end. Just kind of line it up and punch it. So there we have our little sentiment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Tempting Turquoise dauber and just going to ink it up a little bit. And I'm just going to flick the edge of the paper just to give it a little bit of a border so it stands out a little bit. And this is, like I said, just kind of flicking the edges. Give it a little bit of a shading, a border. There. Alright, and I'm going to use a couple of the dimensionals to put on the back of that. And then we'll adhere that to the card. And I'll just put this, whoops, in the center here, and then press that down. And since this is a darker cardstock, I like to have the inside white, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some adhesive, and then just put this inside here. That way you can write your own message, personal message, or whatever you want on the inside. So there you have it. There is this beautiful card. Really easy, quick, simple to do. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave me a message or contact me directly. If you like to know the products I used or how to get them for yourself, they'll be in the credits at the end of the video. You can also see the details of this card with all the supplies and the dimensions of all the items on my website, which is www.dawnspurplekoala.com. Thanks for stopping by.